Hi there. One of my commenters had the fantastic idea for me to cover what sorts of personas the non-party member people would have. The order's kind of random in my list here, so just keep that in mind. Here we go. I think Chihaya would have a healing persona, pretty similar to Morgana's, I could see. Maybe like a healing persona with wind. I could see that being a thing. As far as the design of her persona, I think it would be like a light mint green, like more of like a calming green. And it'd be very pretty. Maybe kind of like Yoshizawa's a bit. Next up I have Oya. I could see her having a persona based around status ailments. Maybe similar to Mitsuru's in a way. But not... I don't see her as ice. I'm not sure what I see her as. Maybe she could be nuclear. Her persona design, I could see being really similar... I guess Persona 3 Mitsuru's. Like just kind of a... maybe a Greek origin. Nice looking regular persona. I don't see it being as pretty as Chihaya's, but I could see it being a good looking persona, a nice persona. Next up I have Iwai's persona. I could see him having one pretty similar to Ryuji's, combat based with a elemental being secondary. I'm not sure if he's electric. For some reason I could see him being psychic. I'm not sure why. He could also probably have gun skills like Haru's. Maybe he'd be more similar to Haru than Ryuji, but maybe with Ryuji's stat. I'm not going to get too much into stats though. This video could take a long time. Next up I have Kawakami. I could see her being pretty similar to An, just stat-wise, but maybe with a different element. Maybe she would also be... I could see her being electric for some reason. That's just the vibe I get. As far as the design, I think it would... I could see her having a Carmen type persona. Next up I have Shinya. His would have like a giant gun. So he would be more of the gun damage skills. Kind of like Haru, but as far as the damage type, I could see him also being nuclear. Next up we have Yoshida. It's really hard for me to picture him fighting, so I could see him being more of a support. Maybe he'd have like stat buffs or something for his team. As far as elements, I could see maybe fire. Maybe it'd also have some healing skills too. Maybe it'd be kind of like on skill-wise. As far as what his persona would look like, I think it'd be pretty cool looking. Maybe like a Captain Kidd type, but more about fire. Next up I have Mishima. I could see him being wind as well. I'm not sure if he would... I think his skills would be more... I think he'd have a pretty similar build to Morgana. His skills would be more about magic than physical. And also... yeah, and also I could see him being a good support healer type person. I don't think it would look like Zoro, though. I think his persona would be a little different. Maybe more like... yeah, I'm not sure what his would look like. Let me know what you think Mishima's persona would look like in the comments. Next up, I have Hifumi. Now, there's actually leaks of what her persona and all that stuff was supposed to look like. I've avoided them for the purposes of this video, but her persona would be beautiful, for sure. The element, I would say, I could see her... she could be ice. I could see that. I could see that for sure. I think she'd be pretty balanced, maybe more like Makoto, and her persona, like I said, would be very beautiful. I think it would have some kind of sword. Maybe her weapon would also be some kind of sword. Ooh, I didn't even talk about their weapons. I might need to make a part 2. Let me know what you want to hear about in the comments as well. Next up, Saya. I think it'd be pretty strong, maybe more leaning towards physical attack. Let me see, her element. I'm trying to avoid nuclear because that's just Makoto's. That feels too easy. I could see her doing electric. Next up is Takemi. She would do psychic damage, I think. That's just what I feel. She could also probably inflict ailment damage. Her persona would look really good. And it would probably be like a goth persona, somehow. And finally, Sojiro. His persona... aw, I didn't think of... aw, because the Sojiro, I thought of Futaba. And she's the navigator. Of all of the people that I listed, maybe Mishima would be the navigator. Yeah! Yeah, that's what he is. Alright. Sorry if you already answered in the comment, but yeah, I think Mishima would be the navigator. Alright, let's get back into Sojiro. He'd be pretty strong, especially if he was younger when he unlocked his persona. I could see it being a pretty balanced persona. And I think he would do electric damage. I don't know why, that's just the vibe I get. And his persona would be pretty cool looking. Again, maybe like Captain Kidd or something a little more specific to Sojiro. Anyway, this is a longer video, so thank you for bearing with me. If there's anything else you want me to cover in the comments, like maybe what kind of weapons they'd use, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.